Hey folks, welcome. I'm Rick and this channel is called The Crypto Guide, and I'm going to be walking you through. This is a complex topic, and we'll jump into it. It's about Bitcoin, Bitcoin mining or miners, and Bitcoin halving, as in half. So I'm going to try to keep this short. I don't want to, it's sometimes hard to grasp, but let's just jump into this. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional. I'm just trying to help people understand a little bit. And some things are changing in the Bitcoin world within 2 days, and some things are going to change in about 6 months substantially. Let's jump into that. Okay, so Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin, and he wanted it safe, secure. He wanted it locked in. He wanted to prevent scamming, and he wanted to make it trustless. He wanted to make it so that you didn't have to trust somebody to make the payment, that it would go through. So it's not like a third-party person coming in, and so it was just going to be a fast digital process. So he created this concept called mining, and the mining is someone that every transaction is processed, goes through it's released through a complex algorithm. And then these people called miners, they have a program on their computer and they're running this program. It looks at every transaction. It decodes it, breaks it down, checks, is the sender, does he have the money? Is this process look proper? And is this receiver the right one or correct as what was put in the program? If that happens, it's processed and locked in. Now, they have to do a volume of these things, and then they become called a block. And you might hear the word blockchain. So once they complete a block, it's locked in this chain or series of events. Don't have to sit on that long. Don't think on that hard. But every time they do a block of data, they're paid in Bitcoin. And this is the way Bitcoin is being released. So Bitcoin has 21 million coins that were designed or built, and there's not any more. Now, the way that if Satoshi Nakamoto, say there's 21 million, he put up 10 million, and say this week he puts another 10 million dumped, it would devalue it. So he has created this system that as it goes through this proof of work, which is the miners processing the data, Bitcoin is released. Parts, pieces, chunks of Bitcoin, not a whole Bitcoin per data, but there's a payment. But what he designed was that every 4 years of it being released, it would be twice as hard to get paid, or no, let me refuse that. The person get paid for that block would only get half the payment that he was paid in the previous 4 years. So every 4 years, it gets halved. You get half the payment. Now you might think, well, that's not fair for the miners. Well, it is, because the value of Bitcoin has gone up, gone up, gone up, gone up. Okay, if you look way back in 2010, I mean, it was, hundreds or even just $1,000. So it's gone up substantially. So he's made this so that doesn't have inflation. So the value goes up because the way it's released is slowly, and it's proof, it's secure, it's brilliant, really. And so, why is this important? So why did he do this? Why this is important to you and me? Well, it's important because this next, they say April, the last halving. So the guys that are mining will only get paid half the rate, which is the releasing of the Bitcoin. So it's released slower. So what does that mean to you and me? Well, it means it's going to be worth more, but also means that as more people are jumping in. There's more. It's been processed. It's been secure. It hasn't been cracked. It's got a history that it's done very well. Okay, so today is October 31st. They're saying November 2nd. We're having a thing called a Bitcoin ETF released. We don't know if it's that date for sure. And what does that mean? That means I think it's BlackRock has put in a request and said they can't buy Bitcoin. I'll talk about that some other time. But what they can do is they'll get Coinbase to buy it. They'll pay them for it, and then they will sell it, but they won't sell the actual Bitcoin to people. They will give them documents that say you own 1/10 of a Bitcoin, okay? And that's a process that's being approved within 2 days. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? Well, the more people that are using it, the more value it becomes, and therefore it increases, right? Well, that's happened in 2 days. Well, this process is going to start in November. Then in April, it's going to get even more rare through this halving event. And that's why this is so important. Now, Bitcoin has become, and commonly, when Bitcoin moves up, the whole market moves up in cryptocurrency. So that's why it's important to actually watch this. And maybe it's important for you to understand this Bitcoin halving, what that means. So this next halving is going to increase the value of Bitcoin, which will bring up all of cryptocurrency. So we're in an exciting time. Bitcoin miners are people that run a computer program that just help to secure the system, and they get paid through the releasing of Bitcoin. So, and that's going to be cut in half in April. So this is going to increase the value. Okay, I've said enough. I talked longer than I'm supposed to. I hope that helps. Take care. Bye-bye.